The media is complicit in fascism right now, in this moment in American history. They are looking back at the past, at this past election. Jake Tapper, Alex Thompson wrote this book about Joe Biden's alleged cognitive decline during his administration, acting as though he was an empty vessel, unable to perform the duties of President of the United States. I've said dozens, if not more times, that was Joe Biden slower? Yes. Did he think slower? Yes. Did he walk slower? Yes. He's 80-something years old. It's a symptom of age. Look, I'm 50. I walk slower than I did when I was 30. I think slower than I did when I was 30. And when I'm 80, I would love to be in as good a shape as Joe Biden, both mentally and physically. All right? Having said that, the media is attempting with all of its might, with all of its clout, with all of its reach, to paint a picture of us looking back and focusing on what Joe Biden did or didn't do to aid Kamala Harris in getting elected and to hide his cognitive decline. And Jake Tapper and Kristen Welker, in this case, are complicit in that distraction, in giving Donald Trump cover while he destroys our democracy, destroys the social safety net, ejects civilians, or ejects citizens of this country from the country, mass deportation, Nazi-style running of our government. They're covering for that while focusing on something else. And Kristen Welker asked Raphael Warnock, senator from Georgia, this question, and he had a brilliant smackdown of this entire line of questioning. That right now, spoiler alert, well, I'm not going to bury the lead. Right now, because I want you to know these numbers, $290 billion is going to be cut from SNAP, food stamps. $290 billion for a program for poor people, hungry people. And a large portion of these people who will be affected by this are children, kids who didn't ask to be poor, who didn't ask to be hungry. And she's asking about Joe Biden. 13.7 million people will lose their health insurance, whether it be the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, or Medicaid. Nearly 14 million Americans. And she's asking about Joe Biden. Here this is, and this is what we need. This is the energy that needs to be brought to these interviews by Democrats in leadership, electeds in the Democratic Party. Good for you, Raphael Warnock. We need more of this. You need to be doing little classes. Post a master class on your YouTube channel about how to deal with these questions from these fascist enabling journalists who are constitutionally protected under the First Amendment. Watch this.
Biden had decided in 2023 to drop out, we would have had a robust primary. Whitmer, Pritzker, Newsom, Buttigieg, Harris, and Klobuchar would have run. Warnock and Shapiro would have kicked the tires. Maybe Mark Cuban or a business person of some sort. 20% of governors and 30% of senators would have thought about it. We would have been eminently stronger. You were name checked there, Senator, so I have to give you a chance to respond. Would the Democratic Party have been stronger had President Biden dropped out of the race sooner or not run at all?
Kristen, here's what we absolutely know about last year's election. It's over. And I'm going to spend all of my energy focused on the task in front of us. We are headed into a very critical week. The Republicans are trying to push forward this big, ugly bill that's going to literally cut as many as 7 million Americans off of their health care. It is a drag not only on their health care, it's a drag on the American economy. They want to cut some $290 billion out of SNAP. This is an unfunded mandate at a time when Donald Trump's tariff tax is literally raising the cost of groceries. And so I've got my sleeves rolled up, and in front of me is the American people, the people of Georgia, and doing everything I can to save them from Trump's big, ugly bill.
I didn't hear a direct answer to the question there, but we do need to keep moving because we've got.
Well, I take very seriously my job. The people of Georgia hired me to stand up for them, and this really is a critical week. Yeah. This big ugly bill is going to strip people of their health care. It's going to rob working class people of the resources that they need. Yeah. They're literally trying to take health care from children. Here's a proposal.
Yeah.
How about allow the tax cuts to expire for people making over $500,000 a year? If they did that, they wouldn't have to have these draconian SNAP cuts and cuts on health care.
Here's what I absolutely know about last year's election. It's over. They're trying to starve our children. They're trying to take away health care from our children. That's what I'm going to focus on. You know, the other group of people that could take a lesson from Raphael Warnock are Republicans who claim to be Christians, because that's a Christian answer. That's a man who actually follows and embodies and lives the teachings of the philosopher or the God, however you look at it, Jesus Christ. A man who actually lives his faith, doesn't bastardize his Christianity, acting as though Jesus was some kind of a MAGA maniac, frothing at the mouth to kick out poor and desperate people from the country, including citizens with cancer, treating the poor as though they are expendable. Good for you, Raphael Warnock. We need more of this from Democrats. I wonder what you think. You can comment below. You can also call the voicemail line, 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me daily at dollemore.com. I will see you next time. I would ask that you think about, if you have it in you, if you have $2 a month that you can throw away, help support this work, help me grow this channel, help me reach more people with this message. You can click the join button below for $2 a month, become a channel member. You can also go to my Patreon page, patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. I'm all over the web on social media at Dollemore. I'd love to see you there. And I will see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another.